Hello everybody, welcome to the video I've been wanting to make for a little while now. This is how I made my movie in Skyrim. So this is the whole Vegas file of the film. I've been saving this because I haven't wanted to delete it until I knew I was done making this video. I'll probably get rid of it soon though because it does take up a lot of storage. So we've got all the clips here on the center frame. We've got all the dialogue down here. We've got music even lower. Above, we've got a lot of green screen effects, and some of them look small because if we zoom in, they get bigger. They're not there for very long. The explosion effect right here, when the screen blows up. We go to the beginning, just the intro. We see these effects up here. If I disable this, you see the stars go away. These were added on green screened. Got some more right here. If I do the same thing, they go away a little bit, you can see, right? The crack in the screen right here, hide that, that goes away. There's two of them, one of them goes away, right? For the intro, Shattered Realms, make it look like the world is shattering. Okay, so moving forward, so these are all the effects and everything that went into this entire project is right here. So, as you can see down here, this red track is music. Now, you can see how it kind of drops, right? The lines here, the volume. This is what you would add this, you would go to right click, insert, remove envelope, you would insert volume. This allows you to create points in the track where if there's dialogue, I learned how to do this for the movie, that the volume will drop, but it'll drop in a way that is natural and not just chopped. That's what I did early in the series. I would just split the clip in half and drop it, and then it would be like really forced. You would just hear the music drop and it didn't sound right. This makes it actually go up and down naturally.
There's been rumors circulating of a pirate going around.
So, yeah. So moving forward, some of the more, larger effects that this movie had was something as simple as this. When the broker was reclaiming her body, there's a standstill shot of her in her realm, and moving forward you can see in the thumbnail of these clips that it's green. That's because this was a green screen. Now if we open it up with chroma key here, we can see right now we have pure green screen enabled, but if we were to change that to default, that was the shot. That was a mod in Skyrim called green screen, basically. It was just a room that was green. So we switched that back to pure green, turn up the threshold a little bit because there's a little bit of bars in the background. It's hard to see it on your end, but they're there, and that kind of just, I'm not really sure what it does, honestly, but it does eliminate some of the excess hangover. Anyways, moving forward, so her transformation clip is very simple. It's pretty much just a stand-chill recording shot of her standing in the green screen room, and then split so that it does the triggering effect, flickering effect, I mean, right here. And then we just switch her to the new character, which I made for her, and the same thing. And then we add an overlay of green screen fire. And we can change the color of that by using other effects too, like saturation effects. Like if I open this up, it looks like I don't have any on because the color was pretty good the way it was. But if we wanted to, we could go to Video FX and go to color corrector, and let's see what we can do. Red midtones, we can change this around. Right, see, we'll pretty much do what we want with that. Add in different effects here. So moving forward to a screen rumble effect, which we'll go look at when Exorvith appears. It's one of the coolest looking scenes because when you do a screen shake effect at the same time you're actually moving the camera around, like Geralt was turning to look, it creates a really cinematic look, and I realized that when I did it, because the original shot was when the king appeared, and that was a standstill screen shake before him and Trump battled. This was kind of the first time I'd had moved the screen around while creating the effect, and it just looked really cool. So as you can see, we basically shrink the window down just a little bit, just enough so that we can shake the window without it completely cropping the film and just being a black screen outside of it. So we shrink it down one notch right here, you could see. And then what we would do, and I'll break this down more later when I'm creating a scene, but you could see I would click on this this is basically the time lapse of the positioning of the screen. You would just click it, we're at 0.30 seconds, click it, move it again, and then what it does is it creates this effect.
What the fuck is it now?
My fucking ball bag is flying around everywhere, god damn it.
Hi mate, put your fucking balls away. There are ladies around. Have some fucking class.
Then you can see right here, that's where this clip starts, which is the explosions. This was also a green screen, but it was actually a black screen, so that means you would just, instead of putting the color as bright green, you'll just do completely black. So if I go up to here, green doesn't work because it's a black screen. So we want to go down and change it. Now there's a little leftover kind of glitch effects on this, which I actually left in because instead of trying to fix it, I thought it made it look a little bit better, honestly. For some reason my recorder stopped anyway, so for this effect right here, this is the little explosion that happens.
Of this world.
So basically all an effect is like this is if we event pan crop, we can see that I have the effect is right here in the center. But the screen, this is what is on video, is all the way down here. So it's actually there. If we go ahead and move it up, you'll see it enter right here on the project. There it is. Now I can just move it around. So basically it just starts off the screen, and then boom, you mark the time code here, and it just kind of flies through the screen really fast. In less than a half a second is what I have it at. And then the next scene right here, we just throw on, is basically the same thing, but it's just blown up. We have the screen completely in the center of this little ball of fire to make it look like an explosion happened. So it's a really easy effect. Honestly, the effects aren't what really take a lot of time. It's just the project as a whole. I mean, the project is massive, right? When we look at it. It's got a lot of scenes, a lot of dialogue. The dialogue is probably the hardest part because I'm the only one writing this, and yeah, I mean, I tried to put a lot more writing effort into this movie, which I'll go over my process and logline I used to create it. Now, there's a few things that can only be really shown in game, like, for example, let's go back to when Serana's mother dies. So, if we look at this, I'll make it a little larger. This is a mod called Puppeteer, and basically you create scenes by syncing animations together across two NPCs. And there's a lot of menu work involved, but you don't see the menu because I split the clip just in the time frame of the menu to the animation occurring, so that you don't see it. But there's a lot of cuts in between kind of setting up animations like this in-game, and they do take time because it's just a naturally slow process.
I forgot to mention, your daughter is on her way as we speak. Such a shame she'll find her.
Basically, right before this scene starts, I hit a button, UI off. So I put my cursor over the play button on the menu, and then I open up console, type in TM, toggle menu, then I would left click because I left my cursor right where it needed to be, and that's where the scene starts for this.
I forgot to mention, your daughter is on her way as we speak. Such a shame she'll find her mother with her head separated from her shoulders.
And that's an added sound effect as well right here that I added for the decapitation. Moving forward, I think it might be a good time to just jump right into Skyrim and kind of show how I set up scenes. But for the most part, the editing process looks a lot like this. It just becomes a lot when you start all the way from the beginning and you work your way up clip by clip by clip. I think it would be a good idea to go over the logline real fast before I hop into Skyrim, so I'm going to do that. So here is the logline. This is basically the brief summary of the movie before you would write it, I guess. So this is what I came up with. The Malevolent King, this is the very beginning of the process, by the way, for the story. The Malevolent King has gathered enough strength to return to Skyrim, and with his return has already begun building his empire. The Greybeards are shocked to find Alduin has been slain, but unsure by who, as the three Dragonborn have ignored their ability to harness the voice, and due to their arrogance and the might of the Malevolent King, they've lost the spirit within that made them Dragonborn. Thus being weakened, the three presidents will need to rely on allies who've crossed from other worlds to combine their strength to take the fight to the Malevolent King and his army. So, then we got the entire kind of process of the script. Now, I don't write the script as in word for word. I do the writing process like that when I've finished the scenes and I'm actively editing as I go. But this kind of tells you this will explain to you what goes on. And it really does. I really followed this to a T. Like the scene opens up with the Greybeards, right? The Greybeards find out Alduin is dead and are shocked with confusion. Sensing the three Dragonborn souls have dissipated as well, switching to each of the three guild houses, we see an aura dissipating from all three presidents, signaling the loss of the Dragonborn within. That's exactly what happens in the opener if you've watched the movie. Soon after, again right after the opener, we see Serana going to visit her mother inside of the Soul Cairn. Now, the only thing that changed about this opener was Geralt. His initial scene of searching for the Slender Man wasn't supposed to be till halfway through the movie, but I decided to switch that to the front of the movie along with the opener. So that kind of a lot of last-minute changes happened. They tend to. Now, soon after, we see Serana going to visit her mother inside the Soul Cairn, only for her to be dead, and the Malevolent King warns that soon he'll be able to manifest himself completely inside Skyrim and to send word to his daughter that she didn't escape death, and her shattered soul gem is the key for his return to the living world. I didn't put that part in because that would have been a spoiler, I decided. We switch to Joe, who's been tracking Jack down for a while since their last encounter. He feels bitter and a sort of a rivalry against the pirate, and ends in a confrontation duel, where Jack wins due to Joe being unable to shout anymore. And realizing this, which we didn't actually see play out, it just ended up being a dragon attack. We switch to Trump, who's currently hunting, searching for a local beast that's been terrorizing a small village near Whiterun. That got changed to basically the demon attack. So this got changed too, right? A lot of this got changed, but for the most part, it's pretty accurate. If we go down even further, we switch to Obama, who's currently teaching a class. That didn't happen. Let's go down further. We switch back to Joe and Jack, who find the disruption, and Joe begins pressing buttons. We didn't end up doing that. We just had Jack blast it with his cannon. The final scene transitions, and we see the three presidents inside Snoop's house smoking dope with them, telling Snoop all that happened, and the scene fades out for the last time. That scene was part of the ending, but there was a lot more to the ending that I ended up putting in. We go up. Let's see. Let's look right here. In this situation, we switch back to the king taunting his daughter and the others as they are overwhelmed and subdued. That got changed. Cyvera was not a part of that fight. It was just Trump, Obama, and Serana. And originally, actually, in the original script, it was the broker who was on the island, not Serana. But I switched it to Serana and left the broker off the island for plot purposes instead. So yeah, there's definitely some changes that happened to the initial rundown of the script. The script pretty much just reads the scene play out. Obama uses the orb to reach out to Trump and Joe, giving them the message to regroup at the destination given to the dire circumstances. We switch to Geralt, who's in the woods at night reflecting on his search for the Slender Man. As we soon see, he is in the woods at night. As we soon see, he is attacked by children of the Grey. After defending himself, we see Slender Man in a foggy distance fading away, continuing through the night until he comes into contact with the broker, and the two spend some time together discussing the broker's request. So, exactly like the movie. In the original script, though, it was Serana, not the broker, who went to talk to Geralt, but that got changed. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind the script here. That's how I do it, at least. It works for me, so guess we'll hop into Skyrim now. Alright everybody, so we are now in Skyrim. We are on the save that the final scene in Shattered Realms was shot. This was the save file. As you can see, we've got all of our characters here that were a part of this during the time. We've got Sheogorath up here, we've got Joe, we've got the dead god right here. So what we're going to do is actually resurrect him real fast. We're going to make sure combat AI is off so nobody attacks anything. So we type in TCAI, all combat AI processing is now off. So now we can go ahead and click on this guy, resurrect. Oh, getting some lag right now. Alright, there we go. It was lagging out pretty bad right there. There he is. So let's go ahead and move him over to me. This is kind of how I set up this scene right here. I got him really big, right? Then I positioned him. He seems like he wants to attack something right now. This is typical. You got to really work around the AI, making sure that it's doing what you want it to do. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you how I change the size of NPCs. I do it through the same mod that I use. For some reason, Joe's eyes... Okay, never mind. They're okay. I thought they were white. He doesn't look too happy with this god right now. But, alright, so we're going to go and open up Proteus. This is what I use to switch characters and make all the characters. So we, Proteus, we're targeting him, NPC. For Joe, we can make him really big. See? Right? That's how we do it. Okay, so for this guy, for the purpose of this video, we're going to reset him back down to regular, right? There he is, that's his normal size. For Sheogorath, we'll do the same thing. If I can get it to click on him. Sometimes it does this, you just gotta keep trying. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now they're both a normal size, so we can kind of make the scene without having it be exactly on point, because when they're that big, you kind of have to keep relocating the two NPCs until you kind of get it perfect. So we're going to move Sheogorath over here, and we're going to move Zorvith right here. We're also going to move him over here. Okay, so here he is. He's kind of moving right now. Sometimes he'll just stop. There's other ways to get him to stop as well, which is actually through here. We're going to use Puppeteer Figurine. Okay, so then we need to go into our spells and find Puppeteer Target. Right here. We select the NPC. Now we hit AI Override on the figurine. Allow. AI Override. Stay. Now he's stuck. Okay. So now this is what I would do to set up a scene for like an execution. So we'll move him to the player. Whoops. Alright. Okay. So I decided for the purpose of this scene we'll start fresh, as if we haven't had any of the NPCs out, for the purpose of showing you. So we're going to do help Sheogorath. Right. We are going to stand where we want him, which is, we'll just put him right here. Player.placeAtMe. His ID code 0E0FED35. And we'll put 1 for one of him. Right, there he is. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing with Exorvith, and he is a Havocrill. That is his name under the mod. We'll do the player.placeAtMe as code 1. Okay, here he is. He thinks he's in combat. Sheogorath is moving. There's a lot of things going on. Typical Skyrim AI, you just have to keep trying things until they work in your favor. So for Sheogorath, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our menu here. We got Puppeteer Figurine, as I showed earlier, I believe, right? So you would favorite these items right here, both of them. If you want to use it on yourself, that's regular, NPC for NPCs. Now you would bind them, which I have myself at 5, NPC at 6. So, and then you would have selector also favorited, which is in the magic options. So we'd use an NPC selector, then we'd use the NPC version. We do idols, part 4, executioner. So now he's in the stance to execute, basically. He's in the animation lock for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring him back over here, kind of line it up to where we think he's going to fall on his knees, the right distance. Now we'll move to player. Okay, Sheogorath is now in position for the animation. Now we will do the same with Havocrill here, and we will go to idols, part 4, execution knee. So there he is. He's in the animation that he's ready to be executed. Now his sword is out because he wasn't relaxed before doing the animation, but for the purpose of this video we don't care, we're just showing how it's done. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to save, just as always what I would do, getting ready to film a shot for a movie or a scene. So now what we would do is once again select Sheogorath, we would hit miscellaneous scene. This is how we're creating a scene to play for both of them. Add me. Idols, part 4. Now we would do execution chop. So this is basically a perimeter in the files that say, should you be an executioner or executionee, the next step is exec chop. Now if you're the executioner, the animation will be the executioner. If you're the executionee, the animation will be losing your head, basically. So we're going to do this. Now we're going to select him. We're going to do the same thing, miscellaneous, scene, add me. We're going to do idols, part 4, chop. Okay, so now we're ready. So this is the part of the scene where, let's say I was filming the end scene where they were very large. This is what I did. So we would, first we type in TFC, which unlocks the camera. As you see SM, a number will give you a reduced speed for control. See, now we're not going as fast. Now, what we would do here is I would press the button here. Okay, like earlier, miscellaneous, scene, and I would hover play, because now what we do is we open up the menu, type in TM to hide the menu, close the console, then left click. And here it is. So it looks like he might have been a little too far back. But you get the picture. And now that scene is complete. Okay. Now let's pretend for another scene, just for all intents and purposes. We had a scene where, by the way, Geralt's AI, he would not want to stop moving around during the scene. So he had his AI disabled. We'll turn that back on. Okay. So, we had Geralt standing over here. And everybody was here. We had a scene where Geralt's camera was like this. He was looking around, the screen was shaking. Right, and he was turning to look at Exorb appearing, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to do it again. Right, that is how it was shot. Now when we go into the editor, we will set up the screen rumble effect. But for all intents and purposes, that is how we set up an executioner scene. That is how it's done using Puppeteer. Now, there's a lot of things I've learned since then about Puppeteer. For example, we will select Joe here. We will go to AI override. We will allow. Then we will go back in and we will say talk. So I figured out a way to make the mouths move. Now, they aren't very consistent, but going into the new Skyrim Cinematic Series universe, this is going to be a part of it. The mouth movement. So as you can see, we got mouth movement here. Another thing you can do, for example, that I've learned since making this movie, which is also going to be seen in the new series, is, for example, let's go back into the menu, let's go to AI override, let's set a travel marker to travel move to your location. Now what we can do with this is we can open it again, AI override, now we can hit travel mode, actor will now walk, let's keep going, right, let's find run, okay, let's find sneak. Actor will now sneak slowly. Okay, now we can hit travel. So what we do now is we can create a scene, turning off menu and free cam. We can get a scene right here where we should see Joe sneak. Now, for some reason he's not sneaking. So what we're going to do is look at this again and double check it. Travel mode. Run. Now he's running. Now he will sneak slowly. There he goes. Now he's sneaking. He goes invisible. For all intents and purposes, this could be a scene shot where we see Joe on his own, free of me controlling him, moving to a location. So he seems like he seems to be stuck right now. There's probably some interference with going up this hill, I would imagine. But so we're gonna go ahead and AI override it again. Travel mark. AI override travel mode. We'll sneak quickly. So now he's just moving faster. Let's turn him back to walk. There he goes. He's walking to the scene. So what we could do is, we could do this. You know, we could just set up a scene here, watching Joe walk. So there's a lot of things you can do. This is just the very basics of how I set things up. Now, obviously, switching characters, you use Proteus here. Player, switch character. Now if I open up this menu, I would actually have to put a censor bar over it probably, because there are characters in this menu I've created for the new series, which would be spoilers, so I won't even do it. But imagine you open up the menu and you switch a character and it takes about 2 minutes to complete the switch. It's a very slow process. It really drags out when you're trying to create these. It's really bad. Especially when you get to so many characters and so many mods involved with the Switch. But, for example, we can also do other animations. Let's say we want, for Joe, we'll select him again. We'll go into Idols. Let's just pick a random one, part 5. Let's do... Shackled B. Right. Now we can go part 2, we can do Cicero Happy. And there's tons of different things you can do with this. We can do combat, killing blows. Oh, I'm sorry, let's go to Misk, dying, 2N, decap A. Alright, as you can see, we are now back in Vegas. So when I did the kill two-hand decap animation for Joe, the game crashed because he is a true legend and is truly unkillable and the star of the franchise, so he was not having that shit. Now, This is the clip we just recorded off of Skyrim, so what we're going to do is, first thing I always do is disable resample. That is the mistake I made for episode 2, and that's why it looks so bad. As you can see, it looks blurry up here. That's because we're in preview quarter mode. We could go to best full, but we're not going to do that because then it would run horribly, and for the purpose of showing you what this is going to look like, we're going to leave it like this. So, for an example, this is how I would edit this scene. Really simple. We're not going to go super far into this. This gives you a really rough idea of what it would look like. So let's say I wanted to, all I would do to record this decapitation is, it's already set basically. I'll just split the clip, move this out of the way. We'll start back here. Hide the menu, close the, we're going to mute myself, but we don't hear that. Now we would just see, let's see. Okay, now it's starting the animation. So actually, I did a pretty good job actually just hiding the menu. You can see the freeze frame here. That's me with console open. Nothing's happening. Right. Let's just skip ahead to something a little more editing for this purpose of showing you. Let's go ahead and go to where Geralt was when the screen shook. I have this somewhere in here. Right here. So let's say we wanted to set up a screen shake. Let's see if this is right. Yep, this is right. Okay. So we're going to delete this clip, get it out of the way. Okay. So we're going to open up Event Pan Crop. What we're going to do is, first we're going to shrink the screen right here once, just to give us room to move the screen around without it going, because if you don't, now you have a border here, and there's no, like, you're moving the screen outside of the frame. So we'll go in one, shrink it, now we're zoomed in a little bit. We'll go ahead and turn up the quality just a little bit right here. Okay, that looks a little better. So we would zoom in here, down here on the time frame of the event. You want to get really close, so there's 2 seconds. This is the beginning. First thing we're going to do is go a little further. Okay, now you can see it is 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. We're going to hit this. We are going to move this over left, hit it again, move it over right, hit it again, go down, hit it again, go all the way up. We're going to go down again to the bottom corner, left corner, up again, right again, go in the middle again, we'll go down again, top left corner again, bottom right corner again, up again, bottom left corner again, up again. So then what I would do is we'll just select them all, hold control, select each frame here that we've just created, and once we get them, we would hit Control C, skip ahead, Control V, Control V, Control V. Now let's see what it looks like now. We've got a crazy screen effect going, as you can see, sort of like the movie, right? Then we would add rumbling sounds, which we could get from YouTube. And yeah, so now what we'll do is, just to show you for an example, a little type of effect, I guess. Let me see if I can find it in my files. One moment. Hello guys, it came to my attention when I was editing this video to upload that when I went into the menu here for the next scene and a few scenes later, there was no menu. So I would click this, and as you guys can see, there's nothing on your screen, but I see a menu. Now, it's the same effects over here. All it is a menu that opens up this window of all these effects. And you'll see me in the next clip mention chroma key right here, pure green screen. The only difference is it was on a pop-up menu instead of right here, so I didn't want you to be confused. But I could just drag this here and the same thing happens as it would have happened for the green screen. Now, obviously for this clip it's not going to do anything because this is not a green screen. It just totally messed up the color coordination of the clip. Same thing with other effects you'll see me be using, like on Sharpen Mask. If I add this on, look how it just blows up that scene like that. That's the power of visual FX, as you'll see coming up in the rest of the video. Now I just want to let you know that. So we're going to get back to the video that was being explained to you guys. Just letting you know that's why the menu didn't pop up. But yeah, so that's basically what I was going to go over. So back to the video on exactly what we want to use. I believe. Yeah, so this is it. So let's get rid of the audio here. We'll press U, separate the files, delete the audio. Okay. So this is the effect that happened during the fight with the Malevolent King and Geralt. So we're going to move this to the front. We're going to open up VFX. We're going to add chroma key, Sony chroma key right here. We're going to go over here, pure green screen. We're going to raise the threshold because you could see the screen is really dark, right? Watch as we raise it. Kind of goes away a bit. Some of the lightning goes away. We want to get it just perfect. Something like right here. Now we can make the lightning look even better. What we can do is we can add some unsharpened mask. We can just, for the purpose, we'll just add, let's add medium. See how it really blew that up? Let's remove that. See that? That makes it look much better, right? We're gonna add some sharpen. Go light on the sharpen. Doesn't make really, you can't really see it, but it does make a difference, trust me. Let's go to brightness and contrast. Now, this is Nightmares. This is what was used for Realm of Horrors. I think it's a perfect setting, and I've been using it on the new series. We're going to throw that on. We're going to throw a color curve on. I'll throw Nightmare on as well. For this, you can actually play with and really, see that? Really make it look the way you want it to look. Now let's watch it. Really simple, right? Now we got some lightning, right? Now, if I wanted to go crazy with it, you can see the effects change as the video goes on. Let's kind of just start here instead, and then I'll copy this. We'll add another video track. Okay, now we've got two sets of lightning, but they're in the same spot, so let's move one around. Move this one over here. Let's move this one more to the right. Something like that. Now let's see it. Now I've got all this lightning on the screen, you know? And you could pretty much duplicate this as much as you want to create some kind of effect if you wanted to. Obviously, there's no sound here, but you would add a sound of electricity crackling or something, and the earth rumbling, which is something I've done. So this shows you like a really brief look at like what I do, excluding adding the music. And then, you know what we're going to do right now is I'm going to actually switch over to my cloning software and what I have to do for that. So let's do that right now. We used to use 11 Labs, and now we use Speechify because 11 Labs is no longer usable due to the upcoming US election. If you use any of the president voices, it will detect it and threaten to ban you. So this is another one I found. It's not as good, unfortunately. But let's just make up a Sneaky Joe line real quick. Let's say, hey, you sack of shit, right? I will eradicate your existence when I shit into your mouth. Right? Let's just generate this.
Hey, you sack of shit, I will eradicate your existence when I shit into your mouth.
So as you can hear, this has a lot of static in the background. 11 Labs didn't have that, so what we do to fix that actually is I will show you. First we download it, okay? Now we're going to switch again. Alrighty, we are now in Audacity. We're going to give this clip we just made one more listen.
Hey, you sack of shit, I will eradicate your existence when I shit into your mouth.
So as you can hear, there is a lot of static, and you can actually see it right here. This portion right here, that's a lot of static. So what we're going to do, we're going to select it. We're going to go to Effect. We're going to go to Noise Removal and Repair, Noise Reduction. We are going to get the noise profile. What this does is, this noise right here, it's going to profile it basically. Get a profile of the noise that's being distributed here. Now, we hit Control A, Effect, we go again to the same option. Then we hit OK, and what it's going to do is, this is step 2, it is going to filter out the noise that we selected. Okay, now it's gone. See that? Now we listen to it.
Hey, you sack of shit, I will eradicate your existence when I shit into your mouth.
All that buzz is now gone. That is how we do it. Then we would go to File, we would go to Export as MP3, and now we've got our cleaned up voice clip. This is the solution I've been using because Speechify is not as crisp as 11 Labs was, and because of the ban I have to now do this. So now we'll get back to Vegas. So for this last part of the video, I figured I would show you guys how I do music and blend the audio with the dialogue. And once more, we'd actually take a second look at these green screen effects, because now I've got the menu showing that I mentioned earlier. We double click Sony Chroma Keyer, hit OK. Now we go up here to pure green screen. Okay, now we're going to copy this and paste it. I've got 2 clips here. There we go, it's on both. Now you can see that mask there. That's because we got to turn the threshold up, turn up to the 0.411 on both of them. Somewhere in that area. There we go, it looks a little better now. Might need to turn it up a little bit more. We'll go to 547. somewhere around there. That's good. All right, there we go. Now for music. So we've got Joe's dialogue right here, and we've got the Sheogorath soundtrack right here. So let's give it a quick listen.
Hey, you sack of shit, I will eradicate your existence when I shit into your mouth.
So, as you can see, it is really hard to hear Joe. Now, what I used to do, which was the really crappy way of doing it, is, for example, we will zoom in so you can see the area better. Okay, so we got Joe's voice here. We're going to press S. We're going to select this, press S, split the clip. Split the clip. So we will just force it down by pulling this down to, let's just say 12.1. Okay, now listen to this.
Hey, you sack of shit.
See how it's very sudden?
Hey, you sack of shit, I will...
It's not very good. Okay. So what we'll do is we will put this back to 0. Now what we're going to do is right-click this, insert, remove envelope, volume. So now we've got this line here, and you can see this line. If you right-click it, we have an option to add a point. We do this. Now we add another point right after it, okay? Now we drag this down to, let's just say, 14.8 or 12.3, okay? Now we've got this little line here that goes down very gradually, okay? And now we add another point over here and a second one behind that. We right-click the second one and we set it back to 0. Now we've got this nice little smooth transition downward, and then it goes over here and then it goes upwards.
Hey, you sack of shit, I will eradicate your existence when I shit into your mouth.
Much better. And as before, the lightning effect, something I wanted to go into again, now that I've got the menus where you guys can see them, is we can open up right here. We'll go to, actually we can all do it from here. So I've got my nightmare effect. We're going to throw on both clips. We're going to go to sharpen, throw on that nightmare effect I made, which is basically just like numbers I set and then I save it. It's all really the same thing, just what your numbers are. On sharpening, brightness and contrast, add this. And you can see as I add it that it's altering the way it looks. Okay. Now we're going to color curves, add nightmare to both of them. Now we'll separate the two so you can see both of them on screen together. Put this one over here. Okay, now let's kind of see what it looks like, the lightning.
Hey, you sack of shit, I will eradicate your existence when I shit into your mouth.
Now obviously that's just a very basic way of looking at this. Obviously this is just the very basics of the basics I've got going on here. What we can do though is we can, if you guys want in the future, depending if you like this video, if you want to learn more about how to do this stuff, I can actually go further in detail of how I do these things. One thing we could do is we could pick a scene from the movie and say, alright, we're going to recreate that scene. Maybe it'd be a more advanced scene like the fight between the king and Geralt, and we will remake the entire scene from scratch, from recording in-game to putting it on Vegas, to finding the music, to finding the effects, to finding the green screens, doing all of that. I mean, we could do it all. But this is a very basic idea of what I do for my series, and I really hope that it kind of showed you guys a bit about what I do, how much time it takes. Now, this stuff is not the most difficult thing in the world to learn, but the thing is no matter how good you get at it, is there's always going to be just a certain amount of time that it takes. It's very tedious. You can't get so good that you're going to eliminate the time that it takes to create, and that's what I've been trying to say, is this series takes a lot of time. When you break all of this down and really look at it piece by piece, it takes so much time, and that is again why the series is moving towards a membership only format, because it is the only way I believe it's worth me investing time into it to create. Now, I hope that this did show you guys enough of what maybe you were wondering. And like I said, this could be the first part in a series of videos like this. Let me know what you think, and if you haven't already, check out the series and please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it if you've made it to the end of this one. I hope it was interesting, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.